morning and welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's only local morning show, giving you exclusive access into people, businesses, and events in our community. We're bringing you this show live daily, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. with your host, me, Maddie Muschin. Before we dive into today's show, every week we highlight someone, an educator, student, business, or organization from our Greater West Bloomfield community going above and beyond. If you would like to submit an entry for someone, you can scan the QR code on the screen, fill out the Google form with the person's name, their contact information, and reasons why you think they should be recognized here on the Splash Live for our Person of the Week. Now let's go check out what's going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. The first event we want to look at are the West Bloomfield Township Public Library virtual events. They have a ton of fun and educational events for residents of West Bloomfield of all age groups. Today, at 10:30, they will be hosting their virtual show and tell for preschoolers. In this program, your child will learn how to communicate their ideas and answer questions from instructors and other peers about their show and tell item. For this event, you can go to the West Bloomfield Library website at wblib.org to register. This weekend, West Bloomfield Parks is working to reduce waste and help those mothers and guardians in our community by hosting their first ever mom-to-mom sale. It will be happening this Saturday, March 19th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Connect Center in Orchard Mall. West Bloomfield Park's Mom-to-Mom sale is a great place to buy or sell children's outgrown or gently used clothing items. Pre-registration is not required, so you can head on down to the Connect Center if you're just hearing about this event now. Admission is $2 or $3 for the early bird 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. admissions, where you can pay at the door. All ages are welcome, and there are no fee for the kids under 18. This is a great way if you have either kids that are outgrowing their clothes and you want to get them something new for the spring. There will be plenty of gently used clothing items for you to purchase there. Our last event we want to look at is a Sylvan Lake Game Night event. This event is perfect if you're looking for something fun to do this spring. Whether you go alone or with a couple of friends, the Sylvan Lake Game Nights are a great way to socialize safely with your neighbors and friends. Sylvan Lake Game Nights will take place every Wednesday when there is not a Sylvan Lake board meeting in the community center. Game night will start at 5:30 p.m. and will go to about 9 p.m. at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. This event is open to all Sylvan Lake residents. You're also welcome to bring any family and friends. They have a bunch of great games, including Mahjong and Euchre. They're hosting Euchre tournaments as well. So if you like to play Euchre with your friends, or if you've never played before, that's something fun to do this spring over in Sylvan Lake. If you have an event you would like us to feature here on the Splash Live, you can send us a message on our social media pages at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. Coming up, I'll be talking with Brittany Trout, Recreation Programmer for West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation. But before that, our Person of the Week this week is someone whose love and excitement for nature is evident in her work in the West Bloomfield community. Since working at West Bloomfield Parks and Rec, Lauren Azuri has created numerous educational programs to make learning about nature in our community fun for residents of all ages. Let's go check out why we named Lauren Azuri our Person of the Week.
Our Person of the Week is someone who has dedicated herself to teaching the West Bloomfield community about the nature that surrounds it, and does it with a smile. Lauren Azuri, West Bloomfield Parks Naturalist Supervisor, has worked with West Bloomfield Parks as a naturalist since 2013. And since then has created numerous popular programs that work to educate residents of all ages about the interesting parts of nature in our community. Lauren has also joined us on the Splash Live to share her vast knowledge of animals and the things that make them so unique to our ecosystem. Let's go check out some of Lauren's fun facts she's shared with us in the past.
Another one that's great to listen and look for in the summertime is dragonflies. When dragonflies mate, their bodies, as they rotate in the sky together, look like a heart shape, so that's kind of cute. And it's amazing because the female lays about 700 eggs at a time in the water. So oftentimes we think of dragonflies as these amazing aerial artists swimming around, but they really do actually lay their eggs in the water, and they start out as babies, aquatic insects under the water, and then change into an adult dragonfly dragonfly with wings that we know of. So what happens with fawns is when they're born with no scent at all, and they've got great camouflage. So they're meant to be left alone. Sometimes their moms won't come back throughout the whole day to even check on them. And that's actually to protect them. So the mom has a scent, and predators can follow scents. The baby does not have a scent. So the more often the mom comes to the baby, it actually puts the baby at higher risk for predators.
Lauren takes her knowledge and love for nature and shares it with everyone in the community through Mommy and Me hikes, nature walks, the West Bloomfield Park's Nature Room, and so many more activities that allow residents of all ages to interact with nature. Through Lauren's bubbly and charismatic personality, she's able to connect with the West Bloomfield community and teach everyone how to respect the nature and animals that we have. Her hard work and love for nature and the West Bloomfield community is why we named Lauren Azuri our Person of the Week.
Thank you to Lauren Azuri for all the work that she does to coordinate the naturalists for West Bloomfield Parks and create fun events that educate the community. For all of those fun events with Lauren, you can head over to the West Bloomfield Parks website and check out their nature events. Their nature room will also be opening up soon, so keep a lookout for those fun events to learn more about the animals in our community. Later on, we'll be checking out the highlights from the Division I quarterfinal basketball game last Tuesday, and the Lakers are headed to the state semifinals. But before that, we'll be talking with Brittany Trout, recreation programmer for West Bloomfield Parks and Rec. All that and more after this short break.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Muschin. It's now time to talk about what's going on in the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation community with the recreation programmer, Brittany Trout. We're going to talk about some very fun events that they have coming up during the springtime. It is beautiful and warm out. Brittany, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Hi guys, thank you for having me. Excited to be here to talk about those fun spring events.
So Brittany, could you first begin with telling us a little bit about your role in the West Bloomfield Parks and what your responsibilities are as the recreation programmer?
Sure. So what I do here at WB Parks is I plan our events. So I know it says programmer in there, but in the Parks and Rec world, that means more so planning, and it doesn't really involve like computers as natural programmers really do. So some of those events I look over are like our daddy-daughter dances, our summer on the bank, which I'll be talking about today, and then all of our other special events that happen like Trick or Treat Trail, Letters to Santa. I watch over those, and I also coordinate with our volunteers for those events. And I also work with getting our food trucks for the different events. So that's kind of my role here at West Bloomfield Parks and what it means to be a recreation programmer in my shoes.
So let's talk about that fun event happening this weekend. You guys are having your first ever mom-to-mom sale. It's going to be this weekend at Connect Center. Can you tell us a little bit about what that entails?
Yeah, this is our first time having it, and our programmer Jess came up with a great idea because we just implemented community garage sales last year and they were a hit. And she wanted to bring a mom-to-mom sale that focused on all those goodies that, I mean, your kids grow so fast, so you need different supplies, and it's nice to upcycle and reuse things when the kids are just growing so fast and coming in and out. So she took on the task of implementing our mom-to-mom sale, which is at Connect, and it will be this Saturday. If you want to come, there is an admission fee. The early birds who want to get the first look and first picking, the admission fee is $3 per person. And then if you're coming after 9 o'clock, the admission fee would be $2. And if you have any kiddos under 18 coming to attend, they don't have any fee. So we have probably between, I think, 20 to 30 moms coming to set up a table and sell. So it's a really full space, and Connect is fun to walk in. It's a good space. So if you're looking for some new items for the kids, definitely come check us out.
Brittany, could you give us a little bit of insight into some of those items that will be on sale there at the mom-to-mom sale? If someone has never been to a mom-to-mom sale before, I know a couple other places have had those. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the people that will be selling their items, and if it will be more winter clothing or if it will also be those spring and summer items that moms will be looking for?
Yeah, so there'll be an array. There's probably going to be a little bit of everything. So you'll have some toys. There'll be probably some strollers. And I think a big ticket item is honestly going to be clothing. So the clothing will range. And I believe there was more of some winter things being ready to be passed on because we just finished up with the season. But I was told that we'll have some more of the spring and summer clothing there too. And again, it's really going to be an array of different categories because everyone has a different age that their kiddo has grown out of, that they're going to bring the items they no longer need for others to find a home and use for.
And then Brittany, West Bloomfield Parks and Rec also has their upcoming Spring Fling Egg Hunt. Can you tell us what that is and a little bit more details about that?
Yeah, our Spring Fling Egg Hunt is a super fun event. It's been off for 2 years, so we're going back to our original guy. So what that looks like is meeting us out at Marshbank Park, and we will have different fields set up based on age category because we want to keep the littles with the littles. And, you know, as you get older, you're a little faster, you're going around grabbing the eggs. So when you come to that event, there'll be some activities to enjoy before your hunt. That includes a train ride. There's a petting farm, and our awesome sponsors will be there, and they always have some neat crafts or giveaways to hand out. And then when the hunt takes place, it's a fast and furious process. So most all the eggs on the field are empty. The kiddos receive a goodie bag at the beginning of the event that has their good prizes in it already. So when they're going to do the hunt, they're collecting empty eggs right now, but they're also on the search for a golden egg. If the kiddo finds a golden egg, then they're able to turn the golden egg in for a bigger prize. What we do with those empty plastic eggs is we recycle them. We are really trying to focus on our green initiative here at WB Parks, and Egg Hunt is one of the events that we had implemented in previous years to reuse plastic eggs to help create less waste, and also just to keep it more of a fair playing field for all the kiddos involved. And that being said, the age range for Egg Hunt can go from toddler age, which is 1 to 2 year olds, and then 3 and 4 year olds have a separate division, and then 5 to 7 year olds have a different field division too. So that's how our age is broken out. But then for anyone who is 8 and up, we highly recommend our flashlight egg hunt, and those have filled eggs in them, and the kiddos go around in the dark. We ask to bring a flashlight. They still get a goodie bag that has prizes in them, but they get to go around and hunt for the eggs in the dark. And those ones do have a filled prize that they take home with them at the end of the night.
And Brittany, for all these events, obviously with the COVID-19 restrictions relaxing a little bit, can you just give us some insight into, especially with the Spring Fling event, what it has looked like in the past and then some changes that are going to be made this year?
So in the previous 2 years, our first year, we did have to cancel and we weren't able to run an event. However, we did go out in the bunny costumes and we said hi to a few of our neighbor friends. Last year, we had the time to figure out what we wanted to do, and we worked with the COVID guidelines that were in place for events, and we did a bunny trail egg hunt. And so that took place at Bloomer Park, and people walked along the trail to keep spacing out, and we kept limited touching, so they would search specifically for a colored egg that had a prize in it to take. And then we also incorporated our bunny house visit so we could still see more people. We had to cut back on the number of people just to follow the guidelines at that time. But now we're back to being able to run our big event, because we'll see between 1,000 to 2,000 people. And it's still spaced out, it's outside, and they get to run around and enjoy. What's different about it this year is that it is at Marshbank Park. In years past, it has been at Drake Park, and the only reason it's not at Drake is because we are going to have construction going on. So that's a big reason why I got moved, but it'll be nice to get over to that side of the township for this event.
Brittany, as we wrap up, you guys also have some volunteer opportunities for the spring and summer. Can you give us a little bit of insight into those volunteer opportunities and how one can sign up to be a volunteer?
Definitely. So our volunteer opportunities kind of go one or two ways. We always need help typically at our events. And so for like Egg Hunt, our Earth Day coming up on April 19th, we will have volunteers who will help greet. They will run activity stations, help us with setup, and also breakdown for that event. So you get to see behind the scenes of how an event works. And for anyone looking, A, just to spend some time out in the community, B, if you're looking for volunteer hours, and then C, if you just want to get out and about, we're definitely a good place to come look for. And if you're not up for really working in the public, we also need help typically stuffing our bags. So Egg Hunt is another great example. Our trick-or-treat trail, we stuff the bags ahead of time. So that will be working on an assembly line, typically inside, and you make up your time when you can come in. But to find out where these volunteers opportunities are, you can go to wbparks.org and go to info, and there'll be a drop-down option to click on volunteer, and all our volunteer hours are posted there. You can also call our front desk, and you can ask to speak to Brittany or that you're interested in learning more about volunteering too.
Well, Brittany, we appreciate you coming on the Splash Live and joining us this morning and telling us about some of those great events that you guys have going on at West Bloomfield Parks.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Once again, I was joined by Brittany Trout, Recreation Programmer for West Bloomfield Parks and Rec, talking to us about some of those great events that they have coming up, as well as those volunteer opportunities that they have available. This past Tuesday, the West Bloomfield Lakers girls basketball team took on the Troy Colts in an intense matchup at University of Detroit Mercy in the quarterfinal game. The Lakers dominated in the game and showed that they are the team to beat in the state championship run in East Lansing this weekend. Let's go check out the quarterfinal highlights. The West Bloomfield girls basketball team continues their run to the state championship game at Breslin. The Lakers took on Troy High School on Tuesday night in the quarterfinal game at UD Mercy. The Lakers were going to be a tough team to beat with their skilled starting lineup and a 22-1 record headed into the game. After a slow start in their game against Grosse Pointe North in the semifinals, the Lakers knew that the key to winning this game against Troy was to start the first half on a roll. The Lakers did exactly that. with help from senior Mayana Hooper, who scored 13 of the Lakers' first 17 points, and help from Summer Davis and India Davis. The Lakers were able to go into half up 36-18. The Lakers were able to keep that momentum headed into the second half with big games by Summer Davis, who scored 20 points, and Mayana Hooper, who scored 16 points. West Bloomfield won the basketball game 67-32, advancing them to the semifinal game at Breslin Center in East Lansing for the first time since the 2003 season. We got to catch up with the team in the locker room after their big win, where, of course, there was a pep talk from Coach Darrin McAllister and a dance party.
We got 2 more. We're not done. 2 more. Yeah! Here I go, here I go.
You can go support the girls' basketball team at Breslin Center in East Lansing on Friday. Reporting for the Splash Live, I'm Maddie Muschin. Good luck to the West Bloomfield girls basketball team as they take on Rockford tomorrow afternoon in their big semifinal game at Breslin Center in East Lansing. You can follow along with their game on Twitter, or you can head over to East Lansing to cheer on the team in person. We're going to take a look now at our interview that we had early on in the week with Amy Quinn, the Math and Science Curriculum Specialist for West Bloomfield School District, to talk about their amazing Lake Robotics Festival happening this weekend. Let's go check it out now. Joining us now is Amy Quinn, Math and Science Curriculum Specialist at West Bloomfield School District. Amy, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
Amy, could you start to tell us about your role as the Math and Science Curriculum Specialist here in the West Bloomfield School District?
Sure. I do many things math and science related. One of my favorite things is Lego robotics that I'm here to talk about today. But I like to stay involved in a lot of district initiatives, and this hands down is one of my favorite ones.
So let's talk about that robotics initiative that we have here in the West Bloomfield School District. Can you first give us a little bit of insight into what it is and who can get involved with it?
Yes, I sure can. I want to invite everybody to our first LEGO League. We're calling it the LakerBot Festival this Saturday. There you will see what these teams have been working on. So First Robotics expands from the younger ones all the way up through high school. And what I'm talking about here today is actually our students in first, second, and third grade. And they've been working on a challenge called Cargo Connect. They will be having their showcase on Saturday, and everybody's welcome to attend to kind of check it out. But would you like me to talk a little bit about the theme?
Sure, of course.
So each year, First puts out a different real-world connection to the theme. And this year, very timely, Cargo Connect. Thinking about in our own lives, we're waiting for that package from Amazon. We're having shipping issues. And so this was a very timely theme. And again, those young students learn about that theme, how we transport cargo by land, air, and water. And they create a Lego model based on some of their solutions or ideas. And in that model, they need to have a robotics piece. So we're starting some very basic coding and programming, and they have an Inspire set, which is a cargo sorter. They have a truck, and then they showcase their learning at this event. They also have a poster that explains about their journey, and we have 20 teams that will be kind of, showcased on Saturday. So it's a great turnout for especially that young age.
Amy, could you give us a little bit of insight into some of the projects that the kids have been working on? And if someone went to go visit the Laker Robotics Festival this Saturday, what they could see there?
Yes, definitely. We have a great partnership with Community Ed. And so they're West Bloomfield students and there's teacher leaders at each building. But it's actually a program that's signed up through Community Ed if anybody is interested in the future. And so what those teams are doing, led by kind of teacher leaders at each building, but then parent coaches, is they will actually be showcasing their model. So you can walk around and see what they've come up with. We ask them a few questions. You'll see the Inspire set and how they're programming. On their poster, they will highlight things such as core values. And in West Bloomfield School District, we talk a lot about 4 C's. Core values and 4 C's are very similar in that they're team skills. It's about that impact, innovation, teamwork, that communication, collaboration. So the teams will be sharing that. But we have a highlight this year, something we've never done. West Bloomfield was asked to be a pilot for something new this year, the robot game. So first in Michigan, we'll be coming in, and I think a few people from Lego Education to kind of see how our West Bloomfield students did this year piloting this robot game. And what the robot game is it's a little robot Milo, and the students are programming Milo to move packages on the mat. So we've had so much fun kind of adding this extra piece to our already well-established program, and we're excited to kind of give some feedback and welcome them on Saturday also.
Amy, could you tell our viewers who were interested in going to the Laker Robotics Festival on Saturday where exactly it is and how they can find the room where all the children are participating?
Yes, it will be at our West Bloomfield High School from 9 a.m. until noon. And as soon as you walk in, there's going to be a few other things going on in the building. So we're going to have maps and kind of 2 people to welcome and point you in the right direction. We also will be highlighting our high school robotics team. They'll be showcasing their cool robot and what they've been working on. Some of the high school students are actually our reviewers. The middle school robotics team will be there with 2 tables showing off what they're doing and supporting in the robot game. And then our challenge students, which are upper elementary, they'll be there with their robot. Tables will be set up in the hallway. And then the review session is for coaches only. With the robot game, anybody's welcome to. And the pit area will be in the cafeteria. And anyone's welcome to walk around and look at some of those posters and models. So it's really a neat event because it's not just our little ones that of course we're focused on, but it's really so people can see the whole robotics program in West Bloomfield.
Amy, as we wrap up here, is there anything else you wanted to share about that Laker Robotics Festival that's happening this weekend, or anything else with the Robotics First program that you guys have there in West Bloomfield?
No, just maybe that if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to Andrea Frank at Community Education. And we just want to thank you for having a little time for us today. And we look forward to seeing anyone that can make it on Saturday or in the future at any robotics events. Thank you.
Awesome, Amy. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you again to Brittany Trout for joining us this morning and for Amy Quinn for joining us earlier in the week. A special thanks to our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, for coordinating the Zoom and making sure our guests joined us. As always, a big thank you to Calvin Brown, our board operator, for making the show possible each and every morning. And thank you for joining me on this St. Patrick's Day as we explored all of the great people and events in our greater West Bloomfield community. As always, you can make sure to tune in live on Civic Center TV on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99, Monday through Friday at 9:30 to catch up on what's going on in our greater West Bloomfield community. You can also watch our show every morning on My Michigan TV. It's a new streaming service that covers all of the great people and events happening around Michigan. You can either head over to mymytv.com or download the My Michigan TV app on your smartphone and smart TV. For all of our friends in Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Mustian. Thank you for watching The Splash Live.